Chapter 4. OMG. The drive to the aquarium was not fun. For a start, I couldn't sneak even a nibble of my donut while I was sat next to Mrs. McDonald. She kept pointing out of the window and saying teachery things like, "Those clouds are called cumulonimbus. Don't you think they look like fluffy, flying guinea pigs?" I shrugged and said nothing. They looked like clouds to me. On top of this, Kevin, the Volcano Harrison, erupted before we'd even left the car park and spent the whole journey with his head in a bucket. He was across the aisle from me in the puker's seat. You know, the one where they reserve it at the front of the bus so the travel-sick kids can see out of the window screen. It smelled awful, like old yogurt mixed with satsumas. He kept turning to me between spews and saying things like, "Roman, I think there's a cola bottle stuck in the back of my nose," and, "Ugh, it's definitely getting milkier with every heave." It was horrible, but at least it killed my appetite for a while. And even worse, all the way to the aquarium, Gamble was shaking my chair violently and patting me on the head and pinching my ear. And he just kept on talking constantly. "Rosie Taylor's telling everyone that you've got a donut in your pocket. Can I have some donut? Mrs. McDonald, make him give me some donut. I want some donut. Roman, can I have some donut, please? Donut. I want some donut." Whenever Gamble's being annoying, Mrs. McDonald and Miss Clegg try to ignore him. I think they expect him to get bored after a while, but he never does. He's like a hyperactive wasp in a tin. At least the teachers also ignored what he was saying about the donut in my trousers. Even so, I knew I had to eat it soon. It was leaking jam into my pocket. I was relieved when we reached the aquarium and I could finally escape. Straight away, we had to line up in our pairs. I was worried about who I'd end up with, but Mrs. McDonald said she'd be Kevin, the Volcano Harrison's partner, just in case, and Gamble should stick with Miss Clegg. When she heard this, Miss Clegg looked up into the sky and said, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me." She isn't really good at hiding her feelings. I was left alone. Lovely stuff, I thought. I'll wait till it's quiet, then eat my donut then. I just joined the back of the line when I felt a tap on my shoulder. "Would you like to be my partner?" said a voice. I turned round and hot potato! It was Jane Dixon. I nearly coughed up a lung. Earlier, I said I don't like surprises. This is because most surprises are terrible. For example, the spider in your bed, the drawing pin on your chair, the sudden attack by your trousers, etc. However, this surprise was completely different. As I sort of mentioned before, Jane Dixon is brainy. She sits at the clever table for everything and always has her work up on the board. Well behaved, she's on the school council, and she gets merits and certificates all the time. And nice. She does loads of jobs for teachers and helps the little kids when they bump their knees on the playground. Well, what I didn't mention is that she's also, nice, if you know what I mean. She has a nice head and a nice face. Her hair is nice too, like a brown waterfall. But not brown because the water's dirty. I mean brown like hot chocolate. And she smells nice too, like strawberry-flavoured washing powder. Oh, and the best thing about Jane, her initials, Jane Dixon, are JD, just like my favourite snack. Jane never normally talks to me. She's like a beautiful golden donut in a glass case, something that looks amazing, but is painfully out of reach. "Well, I spluttered. "OMG, announced Rosie Taylor. She always says things like OMG and LOL. She thinks they make her sound cool and grown up. I disagree. "Roman and Jane are boyfriend and girlfriend." The rest of the class gasped, but Jane Dixon calmly turned to Rosie and said 5 incredible words. "So what if we are?" "OMG.